All right. I think the first thing we'll do is test out this microphone. It's like 110 degrees out here, so it affects the Wi-Fi that we have. Fiber optic. So let me know if you guys can hear me okay. What's up, Mark, Mustang, Miss Doglover? What's going on, Mustang? Tammy Solomon, good to see you. Rescue. Hey, Camaro, what's going on? Good to see you. Jill Moser. My guy Paradox, what's going on with you? Can hear you okay. Also, good afternoon. Appreciate that. Bootleg Pass. All right. So we're going to talk about Abby and Libby's case and why people are still fascinated by what took place on Delphi in 2017. So why do we keep coming back to this case? What are we missing? They arrested Richard Allen. He's charged, guilty as charged, doing 130 years. I mean, why continue? Because it's basically a story with no ending. I think for me, the biggest part is the why. Oh, I just fantasized about it, so I did it. I mean, those crimes do happen, but there's something that we're missing. So I think the best way to start, because I know there's half of you who think, the story's over. There's nothing else to tell. Abby and Libby's story has been told in its entirety. It was Richard Allen and Allen alone, opportunistic killer. So that's half the room. The other half feels that there might be more people involved and not necessarily Kagan Klein. Good to see you, Jari. D. Ashley, how you been? Always good to see you in the chat. Goat Dog says, I think you're overthinking it. Overthinking what? Like, what do you mean specifically? What's up, Frank? Good to see you, Goat Dog. So I think we're going to look at a list of, now these are confirmed opportunistic cases similar to Delphi, and then also a list of confirmed ritual murder cases. Because if we're dealing with the group and it's not the Kleins, then maybe it is a ritual. We know it's not Odinism. That doesn't mean it couldn't be a million other things. Bootleg says too many coincidences that they obviously are not coincidences. Like what? Glad you're here too, D. Tattoo, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. Goat Dog says, I don't think that they're going to be arresting any more people in regards to the Delphi murders. I know. Isn't that scary? To me, that's just telling me that a lot of these cases that we've been covering, or a lot of these doesn't get any attention, like half the story, right? And can't tell the rest. And when you look at law enforcement, it's almost like in a way their hands are tied. You know, they can't just go chasing wolf tickets or whims or gut feelings. You know, that's what we do here on this channel, because we get to look at everything from afar. We get to play investigator. You know, they're the ones that end up in the courtroom dealing with attorneys, you know, putting their careers on the line. There's always that human element. Jamie says Richard Allen is innocent. Why do that, Jamie? Six in one hand, half dozen in the other. Is that the scales of justice? Frank says KK or Richard Allen will talk sooner or later. I don't know. Oh, Jamie's like, doesn't look nothing like him. Well, I'm convinced. You've managed to convince me, Jamie. What's going on, Sean? How you been? You are one of the few who looks at things with a level head. I try to. I can be a little conspiratorial. That's just my nature, to be honest. But I do my best not to be biased. And a lot of people get thrown off by that because they have yet to identify their own biases. Yeah, I mean, what's going on with the phone reset that took place about 10 days before Abby and Libby were killed? That was done by Tara German. Now, did she know what she was doing? Was she helping the girls to avoid Kagan Klein? Because we know what he's really like. We saw it in his court transcripts, where the witnesses were telling us just how vile Keegan Klein was. And he definitely was trying to meet those girls. He got their addresses, and who knows, maybe he was plotting to kill them. But he would stalk them. His victims would block him. He would create new accounts. They couldn't get rid of him. That's exactly the story that Max, Libby's friend, told. The story that he told, that Max told. That Libby came to him complaining that a 19-year-old person was basically bullying her, stalking her. I wouldn't leave her alone. So we just assumed that Tara reset her phone for those purposes. Because when you're grooming somebody, you might have them download, like, let's say, the Kick app, right? So Keegan Klein stalking, luring, grooming Libby on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. but then convinces her to download the Kick app, the Meet Me, maybe even, well, she probably already had Snapchat. It was pretty popular then. So he's able to basically, I don't know, maybe he even had her download something that we don't even know about. Something like Skype. Right? So it goes to Aunt Tara, doesn't want to scare grandma. Says, hey, look, this creepy guy, he won't leave me alone. What should I do? Do you know him personally? No. How do you know him? Oh, well, I met him online. Like, I can't get rid of him. I can't shake him. He had me download all these applications, all these different dating sites, Cash App, maybe even. You know, I'm assuming it was the Kick app, Meet Me, and Cash App. Maybe even Skype. We've seen some cases where pedophiles and online predators prefer to use Skype, and then kind of utilize their chat setup so that they can send video and communicate that way. Good to see you, Rain Dancer. How you been? Jamie, Richard Allen has no history of being a pedophile. What does that have to do with anything? You think he's the only 43-year-old pedophile to get busted for the first time? Did you know there was another guy by the name of Norfleet who also lived in Delphi, got busted for something very similar to Keegan Kline? It was actually going onto the dark web. He didn't have any history of that. Jamie says KK's dad, now he looks more like the BG. Jamie says the people who did this have a history of pedophilia. Richard Allen said it while he was locked up. And like I said, you got to take that with a grain of salt because you have psychosis. I mean, you can't trust confessions while the person who's confessing is under any kind of like extreme trauma, PTSD even. But he said he molested his sister, a couple of his, other people, some boys. He said he was molested. So there you go. People who did this have a history of pedophilia. His sister says, I don't remember him ever doing that. So that tells me that he did it to her when she was very young. It happened. She just doesn't remember it. A tattoo. He has the nerve to say Libby was getting on his nerves. Yeah, that was what Keegan Kline said. Oh, I blocked her. She was getting on my nerves. What he means is that I was getting on her nerves and she blocked me. And then I began cyber stalking her. Now, remember, that's Emily Ann and Anthony Schatz. They would just have to apologize, right? Oh, we're sorry for introducing you to Keegan Kline. Like, they're the good ones and they made the mistake. But really, it's all the same person, right? You have Emily Ann, who's the 13-year-old girl, hiding in plain sight, you know, the wolf in sheep's clothing, becomes friends with a group of 13-year-old girls, and over time just begins grooming them. And then from that point, sends them over to Anthony Schatz or Keegan Kline. So if Keegan Kline starts acting crazy, they come back to Anthony Schatz and back to Emily Ann saying, oh my gosh, your brother or your friend is going crazy. He's a sick maniac. Like, what were you thinking? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I'll do something about it. Not realizing that they're talking to one psychotic pervert. Bootleg Pass. Yep, they mentioned Yubo, the yellow app, which is a live streaming app, often referred to as the Tinder for teens. Lots of lawsuits. We did a few live streams on that. Good to see you, Beth. Sherry Fay, welcome in. Senator Longley. I think KK was somehow involved, but lacked the evidence to convict him along with Richard Allen. Yeah, we could do a 2-hour live stream. Kagan Klein, the Lost Tip, Wabash River Search, the Grissom Air Force Base meeting, his jailhouse confessions. Like, yeah, don't get me started on that. Richard Allen didn't wake up one day and do this. He must be a serial killer. No, some opportunity. He does fit the opportunistic profile pretty much, right? Because most times the precursor is some kind of a stressful situation. So we know that he lost his brother. His daughter went away to college. And she was also had announced that she was getting married the same month that her uncle died in a motorcycle accident, Johnny Boy Walker, Kathy Allen's brother. So he's having a hell of a month, hell of a year 2016 was for Richard Allen. Especially on top of that, a lot of those things cause like a domino effect. For example, Johnny Walker dying in a motorcycle accident really affected Kathy. So she kind of, from my understanding, took it really bad. So she's starting to create distance from Richard Allen. So he's stressed out. We know that he has a dependent personality disorder, or at least he was diagnosed with that throughout the trial process. So that means if the person that he's attached to, which was Kathy, is pushing him away, maybe that's why he was talking about cheating. Like, maybe I'm going to go cheat. Like, she's going to push me away and she's going to flirt, or maybe there's things we don't know about. Maybe that pushed him in the arms of like the Kleins or something. Hank, striking out and then ending up with somebody like Kagan Klein late at night. And we all know that he likes to show off, right? Remember, he had one of his witnesses during trial claimed that he was with a group of black guys. And he was trying to get this girl to get naked and do all this nasty shit. And he was threatening to go over there and gangbang her. So who's to say Richard Allen, now somewhat distant from Kathy, is over here hanging out with these guys. And here's Kagan trying to show off. But instead, Kagan's like, I'm never going to meet these girls. But for Richard Allen, he finally has a chance to be that killer that maybe he always was. So it just took a whole lot. It's a recipe, I think, in some cases. Jamie says 2 girls killed in Iowa, Lyric and Elizabeth, the Evansdale case. Same guy killed all 4. No, they didn't. I don't know what you're talking about. You one of those people who studies the dark arts? You over there playing with the Ouija board and spirit box and all that? All right, so let's start with some confirmed opportunistic cases. if it matches up with what we have in Delphi. The murder of Sarah Yarborough, Federal Way, Washington, 1991, was recently solved in last year. On October 14th, 1991, Sarah Yarborough, 16, was found partially clothed and strangled in a wooded area 300 feet from her car at Federal Way High School, where she was preparing for a drill team event. Not sure what that is. Drill team. Maybe you guys know in the chat. What's a drill team? Patrick Nicholas, a convicted rapist, was identified via DNA in 2024 and convicted of first and second degree murder with a sexual motivation. Opportunistic. Nicholas, living nearby in Federal Way, likely saw Yarborough alone and attacked without prior planning, as no prior connection was established. So some opportunistic killers, they might have been fantasizing about it, waiting for the right opportunity, knowing that they would do it one day. And for whatever reason, just kind of observing their surroundings and just looking around and thinking, hey, this would be a perfect opportunity for me to commit this crime that I've always fantasized about. Everything looks great. You know, they just kind of run through a quick checklist, and they're so impulsive and so impatient that urge just completely outweighs it, and they know that they're just trying to create a delusion that they're just so willing to fall for. And then all the regret comes pouring in afterward, right? And that kind of fits with Richard Allen too. Like, oh my God, look what I did. I'm such a monster. I can't control myself. But still, total disregard for his victims. I can't allow them to go and tell the world what I did. Everybody knows I think about me. Let's go to the chat real quick. Looks like we got a few people popping in. Badass, what's up? He's not telling his wife he was on the bridge, unaliving them, changing his timeline. He's certainly confused. Julia, what's up? Drill team. Okay. For some reason, I thought it was military, like ROTC or something. She Warrior, what's up? Olivia, too. Welcome in. Rose all day. This is absurd, disgusting, grotesque fan fiction. You need to get a fucking life instead of living out of your dark fantasies through this case, you sick fuck. So you think I have fantasies of murder? Says the person with the skull on their avatar. It's like a giant skull. We see you. We can see living. But he's protecting. Kelly O, what's up? Beat me. Welcome in, Grunt. Everyone has thought of it. You never do it. Let me see what I can do. Thank you, Mustang. Doesn't anybody see any it's Penny, but I do see the similarities. Cheating on my diet. It's like 100 today, and this ice cold beer is a life. Oh yeah, you have to have beer on a after any tough job out in the hot sun. It is a requirement. Hex 1312. I don't see how people believe Richard Allen isn't involved. Well, there was a lot of mistakes made. There's a lot of people out. There's more than most that have a distrust in law, especially a place like Delphi. Where everybody knows everybody. They're all part of the same secret societies. Their family's married to their family. Somebody's related through marriage, right? And those roots in Delphi go deep. I pulled up a yearbook. I think it was like 41 or 42. And there's a young Dave McCain sitting there. And, it's all the same last names. McClelland, Merchant. It's crazy. Deep roots there. We'll take care of our own type of feeling. No outsiders. Okay, let's go back to the murder of Sarah Yarbrough. So this is a case from 1991, and it was solved in 2024. Once again, DNA coming through, right? So why is it similar to what happened with Richard Allen and Abby and Libby? Well, first off, he lived nearby, and we don't know of any prior connection, right? So that's same here. And Richard Allen said it was a sexually motivated crime. The body was partially undressed in the Yarbrough case, with their bra and undergarments removed, and prosecutors confirmed sexual motivation based on crime scene evidence, positioning, and nudity. And this took place near the killer's home. Just like Richard Allen, he lived, that was basically his backyard. It wasn't very far at all. Her body was found 300 feet from her car near the school and Nicholas's residence. He has since been convicted and sentenced. Poos, what's up? Good to see you. There is so much chatter about the corruption in Delphi. Why on earth would they frame Richard Allen? I don't get it. He did it, and most likely alone, with a high emphasis of being involved with KK. I mean, that seems to be the most plausible, just following what they've done, right? If you were to take a step back and look at the investigation in its totality, that's what they did. They chased Anthony Schatz. They chased Kagan Klein. And they listened to what Kagan Klein was saying, and they were trying to piece it all together. They all admitted to that they were trying to find a connection between Richard Allen and the Kleins. So you wouldn't be like some kind of foolish person for thinking that, because that's what they thought all the way up until the very end, until Richard Allen got his attorneys, and his attorneys were there to exploit any weakness in their case. And they did a good job of doing that. But as far as rallying society, they didn't know what they were doing. Linked up with people like Crazy Joe and all these weird types. But overall, when it comes to that, they did okay. But for me, the part that bothers me, Poos, is the stuff with David McCain. They didn't search for him. They ignored all the vehicle. Uh, Timeline was perfect. Got there at 2. The girls got there like 10 minutes, 5, like maybe 10 minutes before that. So if they got there 10 minutes before that, they're on the bridge. Guess who's walking up behind them? It would have been Dave McCain. Perfect timing it would have been too, right? From the position that they were on the bridge, 213. They didn't check any of his um really a make what the hell is going on here? I mean, people referred to him as the flannel shirt guy for almost 3 years. They didn't even know who the hell he was. Most people still didn't know who he was until trial. But why didn't they serve him with a search warrant? Why didn't they take his phone and his devices? I know they took his camera and they never gave him back his SIM card, but I mean, what about anything else? And out of anybody that was David McCain is one who has a close relationship with law enforcement. He's literally embedded into that. So if anybody had the power to make a tip go away, to hide under the radar, or let's even say hide in plain sight, it would have been him. Yeah, East City. Yeah. And I'm not trying to say he had anything to do. We don't know, right? He wasn't looked at. So I think things like that, for me personally, throw up a big question mark. Like, why was this guy not looked at? And the fact that he had such a great relationship with everybody involved in the investigation, it makes you wonder. Like, there's favoritism there. There's bias. There's reckless disregard. Oh, he's cool. He's with me. Did you see anything down there, Dave? No, I didn't see nothing. Oh, well, that's good enough for me. What's up, Darkside? Liked a little more about the domestic call to Richard's house. Wonder what that was all about. Extreme alcoholism, put a gun in his mouth, and apparently was given an ultimatum. You can either go to this clinic. I think it's basically like a rehab, or maybe even a mental hospital. I'm not quite sure. Or you can go to jail. And I guess he agreed to go to the facility. I mean, it makes sense, grunge, but there's just nothing to back that up right now. And people don't seem willing to make the effort to look anymore. So it makes you wonder, all these true cases that what the hell is going on? Like, capturing all the killers, are there more people involved? And the accused aren't going to come out and be like, "Oh yeah, Jimmy and Johnny helped me," because he's over there trying to say I'm innocent. And even once they've been convicted, they're on death row. Some of these people, they still, right down to the last second, say that they're, because once they concede, that's it. Because they've seen it before. They've seen technicalities and get their client free. So they will never ever confess, knowing that that's a possibility for them. It's a pipe dream. It's all I have to. Well, yeah. Sleuth, what I don't get why Kathy fed his alcoholism years later, downing shots in Tennessee. I don't know. It didn't appear like he wasn't like she told him you're not allowed to drink. Maybe that's what happened. He wasn't allowed to drink hard alcohol. But there is a video of him taking shots, so I don't know. Typically, he's holding a Coors Light, a Coors Light. Yep, grunge. So it makes you wonder, you have this person who fits the timeline perfectly. And he even says he parked at there. So you got Dave McCain pulls up to the Mears lot, gets out of his vehicle, walks to the bridge. At that point, it would have been like probably about 2:10. So he gets to the bridge at 2:10. We know at 2:05 there was nobody on the bridge. The nobody there. Okay, after the first pitch, Kane could have walked right up. He said he got there at 2, would have been right there at 10. And then 3 minutes later, he says he walks that whole. He even mentioned it one time to some news group. He's walk faster than I was. Why fits the timeline perfectly? And is being he's not. They're not serving a search warrant. They're not running his DNA. They're not taking his clothes. I just don't understand why. And what does law enforcement always say? Oh, don't worry. We do this to everybody that was there. This is what we're going to do to clear you. Oh, you're going to clear me. Okay, well, clear me. Here's my DNA. Here's my clothes. You can search my home. Here's my device. They didn't get any of that. That's crazy to me. That shows me that there's favoritism. If they're able to show Dave McCain favoritism, whether he had anything to do with it or not, why wouldn't they do it behind closed doors? What's up, CJK? Sensei, what's going on? I wonder if it was the mindset of I'm not an alcoholic. I can handle it. I'm in control of it. What's up, Cryptex? How you doing? Is the sound here? Let's try. Hopefully that helped. I think he thought he got away. Didn't. All right, keep on with cases. The murder of Kaylee Sawyer. This took place Bend, Oregon in 2016. On July 24, 2016, Kaylee Sawyer, 23, was abducted while walking home after a bachelorette party in Bend, Oregon. Edwin Laura, a campus security guard, posed as a police officer, lured her into his car, sexually assaulted, and murdered her. Her body was found in a wooded area near Bend. Laura then went on a multi-state crime spree, kidnapping others. So all Allen did is pull, get, or did he come some Oregon, Oregon, Oregon? Uh, I guess I don't. Yeah, when I'm having bad audio, you guys need to tell me so I don't just keep mumbling. Okay, hold on. Hmm. Damn solar flares. Right? Oh, you guys- oh, no. No, maybe it's my microphone. How about that? Does that sound better? I just unplugged it and plugged it back in. It sounds better through my headphones now, so I don't know. Bootleg says better. Yeah, it sounds better in my headphones now. Okay, sorry about that. I might have just it might have been a my equipment. Okay, perfect. All right, maybe we'll get through this live stream here. Something it might be this microphone. All right, so we talked about the Kaylee Sawyer case, the murder of Sarah Yarborough, and we'll do one more and then we'll switch over. The murder of Brooke Wilberger, Corvallis, Oregon, 2004. On May  24th, 2004, Brooke Wilberger, 19, a Brigham Young University student, was abducted from the Oak Park Apartments parking lot in Corvallis, Oregon, while cleaning up lampposts. Joel Patrick Courtney kidnapped, raped, and murdered her, leaving her body in the woods outside of town. He confessed in 2008 after extradition. Courtney saw Wilberger alone in the parking lot and acted spontaneously with no prior connection. So these are people who they didn't wake up in the morning and say, "I'm going to go kill somebody today." And we have no prior connection between Richard Allen and Abby and Libby. So it all fits. It all fits with a killer who can't control themselves, and then after they do something really horrible, they're overwhelmed with guilt. No, I think if it's not connected properly, because whenever I would get a text message, that's when it would happen. Just and earlier, it would cause interest. Hopefully, that's not what's happening right now. Yep, I think it's my phone. I think my phone's causing feedback. That's crazy. Let me. It's better now. Yeah, I think we. Squatcher, what's up? I say the scarf is his T-shirt. Yeah, it could be wrapped around his face. Yeah, because usually I keep my phone right here, so that's probably what's been doing it, interfering with my setup here. Is my audio okay now? Because if it's good to go, all right, we get there away from the microphone, and we should be okay. Dang, that sucks. I wish I would have known that. Okay, Moses Espinoza. This is a case out of Los Angeles, California in 2011. Now, these are confirmed ritual murders. You know, it's not up for debate. So she was 18 years old, confessed to murdering his mother, Amelia Espinoza, 42, in a satanic ritual. He skinned, filleted, and dismembered her body, placing her remains in a freezer. The crime occurred in Norwalk, California, and was described by the judge as one of the most disgusting, hideous, and vulgar cases in 50 years. And this is somebody that lived through Richard Ramirez making that comment. Espinoza admitted the killing was part of a satanic ritual, though specific details of the rite are not fully documented. The extreme mutilation suggests a ceremonial intent. See, there was nothing like that going on. Let's look at Robin Murphy and the Fall River Murders, Massachusetts. Not having cut short. I'll troubleshoot things on my end. So we do have another live stream scheduled a little bit later. But if I'm still having audio issues and everybody's getting frustrated, I need to figure that out. So I'll check you guys out and see you in a little bit. Peace.